So welcome to Career Studies. In this lesson, we are going to talk about the basic steps of career planning. And there are three basic steps. In this lesson, the learning objective is to be able to identify those steps. In later lessons, we are going to start to apply those steps.
Career development is an important part of your education. The more information you have, the more informed decisions you can make. It's never too early to start thinking about your career now, because what you do in school today will impact the choices that you have in the future. Think about it. Have you ever heard somebody, let's say in their 30s or their 40s, saying, "I'm really glad that I didn't prepare for my future, and now I'm going to wing it"? No, usually you hear people say, "I wish I would have known," or "I wish I would have done." And you have that opportunity right now. Right now, you have the opportunity to make some decisions that will open different doors that will lead to your future. So not only are you learning important skills now, for example, you have your language arts class, you have your math class, you have your science class, so you learn lots of skills and lots of academics, but there's other things that you're learning right now as a teenager. We're working on communication, how you talk to people, whether that be speaking to them in person or typing on a computer. Problem solving, coming up with solutions to problems. Responsibility. Responsibility is a huge thing in cyber school because you have an enormous amount of responsibility and control over when you do your work. Having good work habits, incredibly important. Having good work habits will serve you through the rest of your life. Being able to work with others, being able to be a good team partner, and also having a positive attitude. So all these things, although there's not a class teaching you these characteristics, these are things that you're also developing right now while you're in school. Because what we know is there's basically three steps that lead to your future. Career development is a process, not an event. It takes a lifetime. So to make the most of your opportunities, it's best to use career management skills. So let's talk about three steps. The first one is assessment. You're going to take a look at who you are. What are your interests? What do you like to do? What things are you naturally good at? And then we're going to look at exploration. We're going to look at different careers and see if those careers match with your personality. Because what we know is there are some careers that are better suited for different interests and different personalities. And then the last step is action. And that's something that we're going to be doing starting now, but also working on throughout your high school education here, is how do you get there? What do you need to do? Actually applying to go to a trade school or a college and doing those action steps. So to summarize what we talked about in this brief presentation, we talked about how important it is for you to assess yourself, take a look at your personal interests. We talked about the importance of exploring the options available to you. And then the third step, and we talked about, is making that plan or coming up with the steps that you need in order to make your career a success.
So let's do a quick summary of what we talked about in this lesson. We talked about how it's never too early to start planning for your future. And I know that you're right now in middle school and it may seem like it is super far off, but it is not too early to at least start talking about some of these things. We talked about how what you do today does matter. And we also talked about how although you are learning some really important skills in language arts and history and science and math, you're learning more than that. You're learning how to organize and to accomplish things that are challenging and how to communicate and also how to push yourself and to do things that you may not want to do and how to be successful in life. So all of these things are going to contribute to your future and to the quality of life that you're going to have. And we're going to talk about all of these things in this session of career studies, and then also you'll have career studies when you get into high school, and we'll talk about it more. So this is just the start, but it is really exciting, and I hope that you enjoy this venture that we're taking together. So let's get started with career studies and talking about all these wonderful things together.